Hi guys, this is Miriam. So great you're here. Today we are going to paint 3 different birds. Last in the video I will show you ways to use these birds in other paintings, but first we sketch. Okay, so let's start the painting. The first bird is a house sparrow. And we're going to paint very loose and not too strict. So I begin with the lightest color, and I put some color suggestions that you can use early on in this video. So I believe this is a Naples yellow that I begin with, but you can use whatever color you have in your color palette, and see fit and what you think match a house sparrow. Now I'm working. First, I put on the Naples yellow, and then I put on a darker mix of some brown color, wet and wet. And then I continue with the bird. And here I'm using burnt orange, I believe it is. And I go in with a quite, it's not very light, but a medium mix of color. And also on top of the head of the bird, I put in some color. And then I soften it a bit with some clean water. And I really love to paint in this way, where you put first one color on and then drop in another color and allow the colors to flow together. I really believe this is a good way to paint birds. And it's not too strict, and you don't have to paint every line, but you can suggest many things with just one single stroke with your brush. Like I'm doing here, I'm suggesting the wings, and I'm just using very light strokes. Okay, so this is what the bird looks like so far. And I'm just going in with my number 2 brush to add in a few details here at when we are almost finished painting this bird. And it's just a few lines here and there. And here I'm adding some texture to where the bird is standing, some dry grass in the Naples yellow color. And I soften the edges with some clean water. And then I just go in and make a background with a blue color. And I put color on very light mix, and then I soften the edges with clean water. I just do that all the time. And I don't paint the whole background, but just around the bird. And yes, now we are going to continue with the next bird, as you can see here on the picture. And first we sketch it in. And now we are continuing with bird number 2. I wet the area that I'm going to paint with a damp brush. And then I put in a very light mix of Naples yellow. As you can see on the photo next to the painting, that the stomach area of the bird is quite light, but there's also a little bit of shadow area. So I'm mindful of how the bird looks, but I'm going to paint these birds, as I said in the beginning, in quite a loose style. Don't want to go into a lot of detail, but I'm still mindful of the photo and try and put in shadow areas where I can see there are shadow areas on the bird. And here I continued with the olive green, and then I go in with some Payne's gray and to make a shadow area. And I do that as well on top of the head of the bird and a little bit on the stomach area of the bird. And then I paint the tail in quite a light green mix. And now I put a little darker mix on the wings of the bird. And it's still, I'm still painting wet in wet. So the colors will flow together when they are on the paper. And I see a little bit of orange on the head of this bird, so I put that in too. And then we are off and painting the feet. I think I'm using a burnt orange here, but a very watery mix. And I'm still using a number 6 brush here. here I'm just making some details with my number 2 brush. I'm painting wet on dry now, because now I don't want the paint to flow too much together in certain places. And in certain other places I put in color, and then I soften the edges again with some clean water. And you sort of go back and forth when you are painting the bird, and take a look at it and see where it needs some color. And yeah, just go around and making the last details. But not too many details, because we do want it to be quite a loose painting. And so this is almost finished. Let's continue with the next one. Does anyone know the name for this bird? I don't believe I can recognize it actually. So I don't think we have this bird in Denmark, but yeah. If you recognize the bird, please leave me a comment down below. And I would also like to mention that I have a Facebook group. So if you follow my tutorials and you want to share what you have painted, I would really love to see it. I have a Facebook group called Miriam Thompson Art Studio Community. So I would be happy to see you there. And with this little bird, I began like with the others, working wet in wet, dropping in colors. First, the lightest color on the stomach of the bird. It's quite a vibrant stomach this bird has, so yeah, a good strong mix of color. And now I'm going in with some details, and here I'm working wet on dry. But I will drop in some color along the edges just to darken the tail a little bit. And I usually darken my colors with some paint gray. So if you're using an orange color and you want to make a shadow color in orange, you put in a little bit of paint gray, and then you have a shadow color. And I'm just working in different places of the bird. And since I don't want the black color to run into the orange color, I have to wait for the stomach to dry before I can paint in the black color. Now I'm working a little bit on the wing as well, and I could see a little bit of blue in there. So I put that in first, and then I go in with some, I believe it's Payne's Gray. And so now we have almost finished the third bird. We are just going to do a little background on this bird as well. And I wet the area first, and then I go in with a dark mix of Payne's Gray. I'm going to make a bit of a dramatic background for this one. And yeah, just for fun, I really hope that you enjoyed these tutorials and that you learned something and you could use it for something. Um, and here you see all the 3 different birds finished. I will also show you some paintings here last in the video where I put in birds in paintings, so you can see how you can use them together with other things in paintings. Let's look at that now. So here you see the first painting. I actually used one of the birds we painted here today to make this painting with some spring flowers. I thought that was quite pretty, so that's a suggestion. And here we have another one, and these are some different birds, but anyways, you can just see how they are used with flowers and so on. And here's the last painting, a large one with a dramatic background like I showed you before. And so that was it from me for now. Hope to see you again in another video. Bye!